Hi, it's Carrie. I'm inviting you to critically appraise systematic review methods with me. We're going to go to the systematic review subset in PubMed. This is a little search that gets me to systematic literature reviews. And today I applied a filter for free full text. I don't recommend that you do that. I just did it because I was looking at a lot of these and realizing I didn't have access. So for the ease of showing you anything today, I applied that. Let's look at the first one. So the first one is interesting to me. I don't know the authors, and it doesn't look like anybody's a librarian. I'm never going to critique another librarian's work unless you ask me to. Let me just put that out there. But if we look at the topic, it doesn't specifically state that it's a systematic review, but then they say that they conducted a systematic review as a part of their methods, and I just want to get to the full text. It's in the journal Microbiology by the Microbiology Society. Let's look at the PDF. And they'll make it a little bit bigger. And what I noticed about this one is the topic specifically states in the title the antibacterial and antibiofilm activity of acetic acid and vinegar combined with honey. Okay, that's important. And then they've noted that this substance is sometimes called oxymel. Later on in the article, they give the variation of spelling oxymel with an I, O-X-I-M-E-L. We're going to go down past the introduction. And they've given us the dates that they searched on. That's great. Thumbs up. They've given us PubMed Scopus, Web of Science, and the Cochrane Database of Clinical Trials. That's central. Web of Science is a platform. It depends on your institutional subscriptions what databases are contained within that platform. Just something I want to note. And then they've given us their search string here, vinegar, and then they used antimicrobial or antibacterial or antifungal. I could say so much about this search, but basically I just want to point out that it's not really reflecting what the topic said it was. Later on in the methods, they mention that they didn't look at the activity of honey as its antimicrobial activity and clinical utility are well established. But I thought they were looking for vinegar and honey combined, in other words, oxymel. If you look in the MESH database for vinegar, it maps to acetic acid. That's a term they didn't use. If you look at antibacterial, it maps to antibiotic and bactericide, terms they didn't use. And if you notice in the title, they specifically mentioned antibiofilm. Well, there's no medical subject heading term for antibiofilm, but there is a medical subject heading for biofilm. So I would encourage them to use additional terms here, vinegar, acetic acid, and honey. And then for the second concept, to maybe add some of the converse, some of the antonyms of these terms. So bacterial, fungal, microbial, biofilm. I just don't think it was comprehensive enough. But they don't specifically state that it's a systematic review, so I'm not going to worry about that one too much. They do say that they outputted the searches into a CSV file. I just want to let any systematic review authors know that there are tools out there for you to use that have advanced us so far beyond CSV files, and I have other videos on those. Reference managers like EndNote and Zotero, and then screening tools like Rayon and Covidence. They all have free versions. So I'll just leave that there. I'm just going to pick at random. I haven't looked at all of these yet. I don't know. Let's look at this one. I see this person mentioned a lot in exercise science. So that's interesting. I don't know the authors, and I don't specifically see a librarian. Sorry if I ever do step on toes there. So they carried out a systematic review. And like I've always said, I don't rely on the abstract to tell me everything I need. If you are doing a systematic review, maybe check out the Prisma abstract extension for reporting abstracts for systematic reviews. It allows you to provide a structured abstract, but it also depends on what your journal is asking for and all. I get that. Let's look at the article itself. It's in the journal Nutrients, published April of this year, 2023. And I'm going to actually make this a little smaller. It's almost too big. Here's the introduction. Remember, I'm really only interested in methods for the most part. They pre-registered their methods for the systematic review and the meta-analysis in OSF. They give links. I found that sometimes these links are provided in the record, but then they don't work. Let's see. It works. Okay, that's great. I'm pleased that they provided the proper link and that it didn't expire. Looks like they registered the systematic review and the meta-analysis separately, if I had to guess. They searched PubMed Medline. Medline's the major component of PubMed. That makes sense. Scopus. Web of Science. Remember that Web of Science is a platform for many different databases, and it really depends on your institution what you have access to. From inception, okay, that's okay to say that now. Since the Prisma Update 2020, we no longer ask for dates of inception. We just say from inception to February 2023. I would prefer to see a day. We always want a day to locate relevant studies. The search syntax was performed using the following combination of terms. I would probably look up creatine in the medical subject heading database and see if there were any synonyms there for creatine. Supplement, so that would catch supplement, supplements, supplementation. That's good. And resistance training, resistance exercise, weightlifting. Okay, I really like that they have variations here. I would probably add resistance exercises. They have weightlifting as 2 words, as a hyphenated word, and as 1 word. Strength exercise, I would probably add strength exercises. Muscle hypertrophy, muscular hypertrophy, muscle mass, muscle size, muscle thickness. Cross-sectional areas and muscle volume. Those are pretty good search terms. I'm really pleased with that. And the other articles included in our systematic review were either known by the authors, okay, that's fair, or identified by manually searching the bibliographies of the retrieved articles. That's also something that Prisma Search Extension recommends, searching the citations. 2 researchers screen, perfect. We do want 2 researchers to screen the titles and abstracts to avoid bias. And reviewed the full text for studies that conceivably met the inclusion criteria. Remember, we always need inclusion and exclusion criteria in a systematic review that should be set from the start. Inclusion required agreement between both researchers in cases where a disagreement arose. A 3rd researcher, Dr. Schoenfeld, resolved the dispute. The methods followed the guidelines. Ooh, snap. This sentence gets me a little bit. I really prefer that people say they reported with Prisma, because that's only what Prisma does, is reporting items. So there really are no methodological guidelines contained within Prisma. Prisma is purely for reporting, and you can even look at Prisma and see that for yourself, that Prisma is for reporting. If they wanted to follow methodological guidance, I would hope they would have used Cochrane or JBI or some other type of methodological guidance for systematic reviews. But yeah, I don't love that sentence. I really prefer people to say they reported with Prisma and they conducted with X, Y, or Z. I'm happy that they gave us at least a month and a year. I love the search terms. I probably would have looked up some synonyms, added some plurals, but really that's not bad. The other thing I would have loved to have seen here is the number of results by database, and that might be in the Prisma flow diagram. Nope, they just give a total. So we do ask for authors of systematic reviews to note how many results came from each database in the spirit of transparency and reproducibility. My goal for these types of videos isn't to criticize anybody unnecessarily. I really hope that when you watch a video like this, it adds value to your corpus of knowledge, and that when you're ready to do a systematic review, you know what things are good to do and what things are maybe not so good to do. That's my only hope for these types of videos, is that they can be used educationally, and the way that we can do that is by critically appraising what's been published. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.